Once upon a time, there was a very big old school that everyone respected. Among the students was Adane, the only daughter of the village priest and priestess. She was beautiful, gentle, and kind. Two boys liked her. Obina, a calm and humble boy from an average family. Adane liked him because he was soft-spoken and never proud. Chike, the son of a rich man, he was handsome but proud, boastful and hot-tempered. Adana did not like him, no matter how hard he tried. Adane's heart was already leaning towards Obina, but Chike could not accept it. He thought his father's money and position would make Adane choose him. One day, Chike called Adane to the beneath vault, a lonely corner of the school where people hardly passed. He told her she must promise to love him alone. Adane shook her head. Chike, I cannot force my heart. My heart does not belong to you. His pride buoyed. He shouted at her, "You'd rather choose that poor boy Obina instead of me? Do you know who I am? I am Chief Okafor's son." Adane tried to walk away, but Chike grabbed her. In anger, he pushed her away. She hit her head hard against the wall and fell to the ground lifeless. Chike froze. He shook her, called her name, but Adane was gone. Fear gripped him. What would he tell her parents? What would the whole village say? In panic, he dug a shallow grave in the back basement of the school and buried her there, covering the spot with soil and stones. That was how the school became haunted. After Chike buried Adane's body in the shallow grave, he staggered out of the beneath vault, his heart pounding. He washed the dirt off his hands, but he could not wash away the fear. The next morning, Adane's mother noticed her bed was empty. At first, she thought her daughter had gone early to school, but when evening came and Adane did not return home, her parents grew restless. By nightfall, the priest's voice thundered in their compound. "Where is my daughter? Where is Adane?" Messengers ran to the school. Students and teachers gathered. No one could give an answer. Some said they saw her walking towards the classroom. Others claimed she had gone to the library. Those in the school hostel swore she never returned to sleep. The search began. Lanterns and torches shone across the compound. Every corner of the school was combed. The nearby bushes searched. Hunters and elders joined, calling her name into the darkness, but no sign of Adane was found. Her mother wept until her voice grew hoarse. The priest burned incense, crying to the gods, but the wind carried no reply. Days passed, yet her whereabouts remained a mystery. Some villagers whispered, maybe she was taken by kidnappers. Others muttered, the gods are angry with her parents, but no one knew the truth. Then, strange things began to happen inside the school. At night, students heard soft footsteps in the empty corridors. Some said they heard a girl crying faintly, calling Mama, Papa. Others swore the scent of lilies, the same flowers Adane loved, hung in the air, though no flowers grew nearby. One midnight, in the hostel, Obina awoke suddenly. The room was quiet, but he felt a presence. Turning his head, he saw a slim figure in white standing near his bed. Her face was pale, her eyes full of sorrow, but her lips moved softly. Obina! Before he could rise, the figure vanished into thin air, yet the sweet scent of lilies remained. From that moment, Obina's heart knew one thing. Adane was gone from the world of the living, but her spirit was still near. Chike thought he had buried his crime deep in the darkness of the beneath vault. He walked about the school pretending to search with the others, pretending to care, but inside him, fear gnawed like a hungry rat. At first, it was little things. When he walked past the beneath vault, he thought he heard a whisper, Chike. He would turn quickly, but no one was there. At night, when he closed his eyes, he saw Adane's face pale, blood trickling down her forehead, her eyes wide and unblinking. He would wake up, sweating, his body trembling. Soon the haunting grew stronger. One evening, while washing his face, he lifted his head and looked into the mirror, but it was not his reflection staring back, it was Adane's face. Lifeless and cold, he screamed, smashing the mirror with his fist, and other students rushed in to see him bleeding and shaking. He lied, saying he fell. But the ghost did not stop. Sometimes, when he tried to eat, his food turned to sand in his mouth. At night, his water guard would be full of blood instead of water. When he walked in the corridors, he heard her footsteps behind him, light and slow. Chike, the voice would call, soft but chilling. You cannot hide from me. One night, as he lay in bed, he felt a cold hand touch in his chest. He jumped up, screaming, but his roommate only saw him fighting with empty air. His friends began to avoid him. They whispered that he was running mad. Chike's eye grew red from lack of sleep. His clothes hung loose from his body. Everywhere he went, he looked behind him, frightened of shadows. Even his laughter turned into sudden cries. But the worst came one night. He heard knocking at his door. Knock, 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 knock. Shaking, he opened it and saw Adane standing there in her white dress, her hair covering her face. She raised her hand slowly, pointing at him. Chike, she whispered, her voice like the wind, why did you kill me? He fell to the ground, screaming, rolling like a madman. Other boys ran in, but saw nothing, only Chike trembling and begging unseen hands for mercy. From that night, Chike was never the same. He could not sleep, he could not eat, he could not laugh. The ghost of Adani followed him everywhere, tormenting him, dragging him slowly into madness. The school was no longer the same. Students whispered in fear. Teachers prayed silently before entering classrooms, and at night, no one dared to pass near the beneath vault. The corridors echoed with cries, footsteps, and laughter that belonged to no living soul. The priest, Adane's father, knew what the villagers were too afraid to say. His daughter's spirit was restless. He gathered elders and diviners, and they performed sacrifices. But the haunting grew stronger and stronger. The ghost refused to leave. Chike, meanwhile, was drowning in madness. His once proud face had become lean. His voice cracked with fear. He could not sleep. Every shadow carried Adane's pale eye. Every silence carried a whisper. Chike, why did you kill me? He would wake, screaming in the hostel, tearing at his own clothes, while others fled from him. His father, Chief Okafor, tried to use money and charms to save him, but nothing worked. One night, the torment reached its peak. Adane's ghost appeared in the open assembly hall before many students. Her figure glowed in white, her eyes dark and sorrow. She pointed at Chike, who was crouched in a corner, trembling like a leaf. Tell them the truth, Chike. Tell them what you did to me. The hall shook with screams. Some students fainted, some ran, but many saw enough to know the ghost of Adani was real. At last, Chike collapsed to the floor and confessed through tears. He told how he dragged her to the beneath vault, how he pushed her, and how he buried her body in the shallow grave. His words fell like stones in the silence. The priest fell to his knees in grief. The mother wailed bitterly. Obina wept openly, beating his chest. The crowd's anger burned against Chike, but the priest raised his hand. This is not for men to punish, this is for the spirit to decide. The elders and diviners agreed. They decreed that Chike must appease Adane's ghost, or his madness would kill him. On the chosen night, They carried a sacrifice, a white hen, palm oil, bitter kola, cowries, and a calabash of water. Chike was made to carry them with his bare hands, trembling, while the old school and villagers followed with torches. They led him to the beneath vault, the very place where he buried her. The air was cold, the wind wailed like a flute. Suddenly, Adane's ghost appeared, bright and terrible, her face pale, her eyes like fire. Everyone fell to the ground in fear. Chike, her voice rang out, "You took my life, now you must pay with yours." Chike fell on his knees, begging, "Forgive me, spare me, I did not mean it." But the ghost raised her hand. The sacrifice in his trembling hands turned to blood, spilling onto the ground. The wind howled louder. "You will not die," the ghost said, her voice echoing like thunder, "but you will live with emptiness. Your name will bear no fruit. For as long as you live, you will never father a child. Your seed shall die in you." Chike screamed and fell to the ground. He clutched himself, winning in pain. From that night, the proud son of Chief Okafor was cursed with impotence for life. His wealth and his arrogance could not save him. The ghost then turned, her eyes softening as they fell on Obinna. She moved closer, her face no longer pale with anger, but glowing with love. "Obinna," she whispered gently, "my heart was yours, even in death. But now I must go. Remember me not with tears, but with the peace of love we shared." Obinna reached out, but his hand passed through the fading light. He wept, his voice breaking. "Adane, Adane." The ghost smiled one last time. Slowly, her figure dissolved into the wind, leaving behind the sweet scent of lilies. Then the vault fell silent forever. From that day, the hunting ceased. The school became calm again. The villagers spoke of Adanes with respect, saying her spirit had found rest, her justice complete. But Chike lived on as a broken man. He carried wealth, but no joy. He lived in a large house, but with no children to bear his name. His laughter was gone, replaced only by regret. As for Obinna, he never forgot her. Sometimes, when the wind blew through the trees, carrying the scent of the lilies, he would close his eyes and smile, knowing that Adane's love had truly left him. And thus ended the tale of the Beneath Vault, where love, pride, and justice dance between the living and the dead.